The Shiunji family children is created by the same person who wrote Rent a Girlfriend. And if there's one thing that this man has mastered, then it's the art of creating the most generic slop somehow addicting. And I am addicted. The entire plot of this anime can be summarized with 2 words: incest bait.
Here we go again.
In total, there are 7 siblings, 5 sisters and 2 brothers, with the eldest son Arata being the center of everyone's attention. You might ask, why not the second son? Well, because he's already dating a girl outside the family like a normal human being, so the sisters know where to draw the line. Netorare is unacceptable. Incest? Well, that's fair game. And although I keep calling it incest, technically speaking, it isn't really incest because... not blood related. Which does not make it any less weird, but I think it achieves its purpose, which is to question your sanity the more you watch this anime. In fact, the only reason we have the entire anime in the first place is because the father realizes that the harem genre is getting stale as it is. And the only thing that can spice it up is a little bit of familial love. Because the only females getting any sort of action in the first season of a romance harem anime is almost always the sister of the main character. So everyone is a sister in this one. We have Kotono, the youngest, shyest, and the only sister to proclaim her love for Arata even before she knew they were not blood related. This girl is a real go-getter, so she goes and confesses to her brother and then gets the fuck out of the anime for the rest of the season in terms of plot relevance. Only appears to remind everyone that she still has dibs on their brother. Minami has potential to be the best girl depending on how the series progresses. At one point in the anime, I could see her confessing to her club senpai instead of Arata, but Arata swiftly reminds her that she's in the wrong genre of romance anime to be doing that. Oka, a classic tsundere voiced by the GOAT Takahashi Rie herself, but the fact that she's a tsundere rules out all chances of any progress happening this season, is what you would think I would say. But this might be one of the few animes where tsundere has not just acknowledged her love for the main character, but has also kissed him. And all it took was just one arc of her trying to get herself killed. Seiha, the cool stoic genius of the family. I can distinctly remember her 2 prominent interactions with Arata so far this season because she's clearly trying to figure out if Arata is into ass or tits. Sadly, she has neither. Then we have Bandri, the eldest sister with the best personality. The personality in question being... And on the male side, we have Shion, the schizophrenic male son who claims to have a girlfriend, but I've never seen her even once in the anime. Honestly speaking, me and him might not be so different after all. And finally, the protagonist, Arata. The only person who is not immediately sold on the idea of wanting to make babies with his sisters. Wants to be a good brother to his sisters, but will instead end up being a good father to their kids. And then there is everyone else. And since this is the first season of a harem romance anime, what does that make them? Irrelevant to the fucking plot. The plot, while nothing to write home about, has its moments where you might think that it wasn't so bad to give it a shot after all. Nah, who am I kidding? This thing is still like your typical harem romance anime. The best thing that will come out of this anime is the amount of people who will be mad at you for watching something like this and calling it peak. So will I read the manga then? No. Hell no. Not at this point at least. I would rather see it get animated because the voice acting and animation is also what is carrying this show to a certain extent. Every time I hear Arata, I keep hearing Anos from the Misfit of Demon King Academy anime, and I keep waiting for him to say some dumb shit like, "Do you think being blood related is enough to make you my sister?" And if I do ever end up reading the manga, it would just be to see who Arata ends up choosing at the end. And considering who the author is, you and I might not be alive by the time that happens.